Guys, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Today we're out here at Uptown 550, I believe. I always get lost downtown. It's really hectic down here in Charlotte downtown area. Always parking spaces, and you could always get booted. Well, today I have the pleasure of talking to a good friend of mine, Tim Guercio, I think he said. Former soccer player, played for the Mongolian national team. Also listed under the 30 under 30 most influential business owners, I think, something like that, in a blog. And we're going to kind of get to know a little bit about him. I'm also going to get to know him. That's why I'm excited about this interview. So let's not hesitate and let's get to it. Tim, how are you?
What's up, Mario? Thanks for having me, man.
No,
Appreciate
thank you.
it.
All the experiences that you have, where would you say that your life kind of like started taking down that road? Because like, have you been a soccer player? Now you, I guess, what do you do now currently?
Yeah, I own a couple businesses, and we got a private equity firm, which we're expanding nationwide now. And then that's also brought me into the investment world. So I connect a lot of investors and different deals that need money, and then I connect them together.
But tell me, you're from Mongolia, right? Like, kind of give me a little bit of background on that, because you played on the Mongolian national soccer team, so that's kind of exciting, right? Or was that short-lived? Kind of like, how'd you kind of pave your way towards that?
Yeah. So basically my story is I was born in Mongolia and moved to the States when I was 6. My mom and stepdad met in Mongolia in the Peace Corps. They fell in love and brought me to America, which I'm grateful to be here every day, because so many people wish to be here and I get to be here. So super grateful. Came to a really wonderful, loving family on my stepdad's side, and they've been supportive. They've always been there with me. They've been my best friends. They've been my rock. So I've had a really great foundation my whole life. And then I guess, like most of my life, all I really cared about was playing soccer, so I just play as often as I could. And as I was going, I always kept on believing in myself, even though I wasn't the fastest or the strongest. I would always just believe in myself to say, hey, I know you know you're good. You're good enough. Keep training, keep practicing. If someone tells you no, keep going on and try to figure out another way to get a yes. And it always just came down to hard work.
I guess it's always a benefit of you arriving here to the States at a little bit of a younger age, but still being a person of color. Did you face any type of adversity kind of like growing up with that, knowing that? Because I mean, same way that you're kind of told in soccer, like, you know, whether you're not the skinniest or the fastest, like what other type of adversity did you also face growing up?
Yeah.
Because I think that the biggest challenger is ourselves too, like in a lot of those.
Yeah, no, we can definitely get into that for sure. All of our beliefs, those are really the only things that's holding us back. And then again, just the hard work. But growing up in the States, I guess I'm lucky, but even now it's a little more difficult because of social media. But when I grew up, I guess there was racism and all that stuff and segregation and all that stuff, but I never really noticed it because I had such a supporting family. For some reason, I guess whenever I was always a happy kid, an optimistic kid, like a loving person. So whenever someone did make fun of me, I never really took it to heart because I always had that foundation of family, that they're always there for me, that at the end of the day, you know, these are random people and I have love at home, so
interesting. Because like you didn't feel the bullying then?
I definitely remember being bullied, but I don't know. I've heard some extreme cases of bullying, and I don't fully remember if I did have incidents. I mean, now that I think about it, I did have them sometimes. But the main thing that I would always get is probably like just racism, just like being called Asian and all that stuff. But I never really took it. I never never really bothered me.
In school or like more your day-to-day life?
No, in school.
In school?
Yeah, I would definitely say school. That was our biggest,
That's pretty cool though, because again, like during that age, you're developing, like still your perspectives are being changed all the time. So you've always found yourself being a happy person then?
Mm-hmm. Well, now it's like before it was literally you were only exposed to literally maybe like the 5 people you hung out with most.
Okay.
Now with social media, you're exposed to the world and you're seeing all these different things and communities and stuff. We didn't really have that. Like growing up, it was just like whoever we hung around the most with our family. Like, and then I didn't even see outside of that. Like outside of my family and maybe a couple friends, I didn't know like really the world outside of that. Whereas now it's like you get to see the whole world right from the beginning, if that makes sense.
Did you feel like being so closed off for such a long time held you back from the opportunity you were supposed to find?
No, and I don't even think I see it as a held you back kind of thing. I think I see it as more of like I didn't have to be exposed to online bullying, or I wasn't even exposed to really like racism or hate, really. I was just in my bubble of love, care, and nurturing, if that makes sense.
I mean, I would even say though, like that takes a strong perspective of yourself though, to like not be scathed by any of the words or anything like that, because either way, even if it's not social media, your day-to-day still, I guess, provokes you to become, kind of inclined to depression or stuff like that. So I find it interesting that you didn't really ever see it that way. But again, maybe that built a good foundation for you.
Yeah.
And that's why we're standing here. How'd you end up on the soccer team though? How do you end up getting drafted for things like that?
Yeah, so they have this thing. So as I was growing up and as I got older, like I really didn't even have a Mongolian community here. So I guess that was another thing. Like I wasn't like confined to a group of people. I could always make friends with different groups of people because that's how I had to live, or else I wouldn't have friends. But they still do it now, but they have these Mongolian American soccer tournaments here in America. They have one in the spring and then one in the fall. And towards my high school seasons and careers, I guess my mom or somehow we got connected to a team in Washington, D.C., and then they were paying me to come out there and play for them and play for that D.C. team, as they call it. So like each big city had their own soccer team, Mongolian soccer team, and I got to play for the D.C. team, and then I just kept playing with them. And then one year, during like my junior or sophomore year in college, I was still playing. And then one May, I had like a little gap year and we flew out to LA. And then while I was in LA playing with them, I met some of the Mongolian national team players and like the Mongolian league coaches. And that year I won, everybody knew of me leading up, but that year I won like midfield MVP and I was like scoring all these goals and all this stuff. Casually, and then they came up and they were like, hey, come play in Mongolia, be on the national team. And for Mongolia, since they're such a developing country and soccer is still fairly new, they take any whatever players they can get. Being that I am good, guys. Right.
Okay.
So so I had one of the coaches. So basically, if you want to be on the national team there, you have to play in the league there. So then I had one of the coaches of Goya FC reach out to me. I built a relationship with him in LA. He reached out to me. He's like, hey, come to Mongolia, play in the league, play on the national team, all this stuff. So I did and did that.
Was that the first time you had gone back to Mongolia, or had there been previous years to where you had gone back and experienced Mongolia?
I think I kind of remember experiencing it when I was maybe like 10 and maybe another time when I was 15, but no, we didn't go that often.
Oh, okay.
But one thing that I was really prideful and happy of, or just proud of, was like all right, well, now I get to go back to my country, experience it as an adult, get to do what I love, playing soccer. And then I also get to like honor my mom and my culture of being able to play for the national team.
I mean, so it sounds like it was a good, you were good, first of all, but it was also like kind of like networking to the right people and then them putting you in the right position. Is that kind of how you found yourself getting into a business? Because I know that you, what's your company name or what's the business that you first founded? I think it was like Christmas lights or something like that?
So yeah, my first ever company was a digital marketing company where we do digital marketing for businesses.
SEO, all that?
Yeah, websites, social media management. So
what age kind of were you there? Like
I think I was like 23, but that's what I was going to college for as well, business administration. But I never really cared about school until after my soccer career, until I guess after my soccer career, because that's when I was like, all right, like my soccer's over and now I have to like make money and be an adult.
Did you think you were going to have a soccer career and then until it stopped, then you kind of got on track into school or?
Yeah. No. Well, I came to the realization that, okay, I'm probably at the pinnacle of my soccer. I probably could have played in some other leagues here and there, but I played pro. I'm on TV, I got highlight reels, played for the national team. It's like, okay, like what more do I want? So then I kind of wanted to be with family, and during that time in Mongolia, I was like kind of lonely, even though I was doing what I wanted just because my family wasn't there. Okay. And I wanted to watch my brothers grow up, because they were getting older. So then I kind of decided, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back to Mongolia, or go back to America, start a business and just go from there.
But did you know what you were getting yourself into? Or was it because you were inspired of wanting to do something else? Or you were always on track to build a business? Because it's just curious that, like, let's say soccer didn't fulfill exactly what you wanted, because, I mean, there were still some things, family or whatever reasons, that you didn't want to pursue it that hard anymore. So what made you pursue a business? Did you know what you were getting yourself into? Yeah.
I would say I kind of knew my whole life I wanted to be an entrepreneur and business owner. Okay. And
how come?
I don't fully know, but there was, I think it had to do with a couple things. But one of them, like my mom gave me, I would even say my family. My family gave me enough confidence in myself to be able to say, okay, like you can do it. Or I built up enough confidence in myself to be able to say I could do these things. And I guess as I was leveling up in soccer, it also built my confidence that it's like, oh, okay, through hard work, you can achieve these things if you have like the mind for it, like if you want to do it. Okay. So did I know what I was getting myself into? Honestly, like if you're a new business owner or if you're wanting to be a business owner, you always have a plan, or you can have a plan and you can have the perfect plan. But then once you get into it, it's a whole different story. Okay. And as you level up, just like you'll level up in life and soccer and whatever thing that matters to you in life, as you level up, you're going to hit a point where it's going to be really testing whether you want to continue doing this or not. And it's going to be hard. And if you don't, and that could be the end of your career, soccer career, or your business journey there. When you get to that point, it's up to you to be able to get past that and get to the next point. And if you don't, then your career is, I guess, kind of over there. Or that's where you stagnate.
At what point did you face that level of adversity in your first business?
So we started with the digital marketing company, and I had to figure out. Of course, I had like the online courses, which were awesome.
What online courses did you follow? Did you create it, or that you were following?
Oh, I was following like Billy Jean. You know Billy
Jean? No.
Yeah, he's a digital marketing like expert. Yeah, he's been in the game for a long time.
Were those courses successful? Because sometimes I look at YouTube and I'm like, I'm not sure whether these courses are just being sold for them to gain money, or they're actually going to be useful. Did you find them useful, or does it depend how you use it?
So I guess, yeah, like you can pay for the tools and it can work, and these are tools that can be successful, and sometimes there's just bad programs out there and you paid for it and they scammed you, and oh well. And that's kind of like the cost of doing business as well. Like having to experiment with things and try things, and sometimes the investment doesn't go well, if that makes sense. But yeah, well.
Did that help you build your marketing business though at that point?
Yes. So Billie Jean was my first digital marketing course, and that did help me figure out how to make websites, figure out how to subcontract work, and then make money as like a contractor almost, and not having to do it hourly. So that's where I learned how to make money on results and not by hours.
What do you mean by that? Like, are most people in a different mind perspective?
Yeah. So first in society, you think about, okay, how much money can I make in an hour? Oh, okay, I want to make 25 an hour. Okay, great. So then then result based is a whole different mindset. Okay, I'm gonna pay you for a result. I'm gonna pay you to get me a really nice 3-page website, and I'm gonna pay you $2,000. Okay, so now it's not hourly. Now you can think about, okay, how fast and efficient can I make this website and get $2,000? I don't have to put 90 hours in it if I want to. I can do it in 20, and if it's a good website, then I'm done. So now instead of saying, okay, I'm going to charge you 90 hours for this. No, you could say, I'm going to build this for you. It could take you 10 hours, and now you got paid on a result. Does that make sense?
Okay. So, and then you kind of started working off of that, like off those bases.
Yeah.
Did your marketing business take you into what then continued, or what was kind of like the continuation of your marketing business after that? Because I mean, you didn't just settle there, so.
Yeah. So then I took all my knowledge of the marketing business, and I got the opportunity to start a Christmas lighting business. So I saw some people doing it in some middle class neighborhoods, and I had some high-end clients that I was working with at the time for digital marketing. So I pitched it to them, and then they liked it, and then I found this like niche that was really profitable, scalable. It like fulfilled me in my life, and I guess it's just taking it from there.
But that's more of a seasonal business, is it not? Or do you hang lights year round?
Yeah, no, I had some other businesses. So our Christmas light business, we do about $500,000 now in about 2-3 months. And now we're scaling nationwide through our private equity firm. Or that's the goal, at least. So yeah, that was one of the challenges. It was like, I see it as a blessing and a curse sometimes, but mainly a blessing. Just because, yes, it is seasonal and we get to make a lot of money in a short period of time, and we get to brighten up a lot of people's houses and like build up people's Christmas spirit better. But it was difficult to have to pick back up, like having to ramp it back up and then stop it. But then it did have to make me a better business owner. So I had to say, okay, in this small, short amount of time, how can I best serve my customers, but also make the most amount of money? So then I started, just like what I learned from the digital marketing business, I started paying people on results, kind of like subcontracting.
Subcontractors for the quantity of lights they
Yeah. So I would have all the material, and I would be like, okay, guys, I'll give you 20% of this house if you just get it done and take care of it. And you could do 10 houses, and some of our crews make like $100,000 in 2 months.
Dang. Okay, so it's a good opportunity for them, and also again, you light up the customer's house, and
yeah.
Okay, you started all that on your own, or?
Yeah. So I guess one important thing you need to know when you're starting a business is like, you need help. Like, don't have an ego to say, oh no, I know it and I can figure it out. Like, use the resources, use other people, like mentors that we have, use people that's already successful in that area, and buy their coaching program. Get in their circle, somehow be able to get into their mind or get into their coaching, whatever, so that they can save you a whole bunch of time and stress from all the things that they've gone through.
How many I saw that you received a lot of training programs, right? And which one did you find the most beneficial? Because I mean, obviously, like, there's a lot today. Like, there's a lot of coaching programs that can make you or break you. So, like, which one of them was the most beneficial, you would say, for you?
Yeah, I think like one of my biggest, I don't know. I guess it is a flex, but one of the biggest things that I take pride in is, like, I've probably invested over $200,000 in just coaching, self-development, or development of my workers or employees, teammates as well.
Oh, you've also invested into your employees as well?
Yeah.
And their progress?
Yeah. So, of course, and you have to, because, like, you can't know everything yourself. Because if you are the only person that knows it, then how are you ever going to delegate it so that you can be an actual business owner and not just a person with a high-paying job?
So the goal is to kind of take yourself out of the business and then let someone run it with procedures.
Exactly.
But do you think that everybody can do that, or how can everybody get to building a business like that?
No, everybody can definitely do that. And that's one of the one really great thing about that Christmas business. It made me have to be a better, I guess, business owner, but made me have to build better systems for people to come in and go, because it's seasonal. I needed to be able to ramp up work as fast as possible with the shortest amount of training possible. So if you have systems and checklists, then it takes the brain work out of them having to do things. They just look at the next line item and say, okay, got this done. And then you support them through whenever they have questions. For the first week, for the first couple projects, they're gonna have questions because it's new to them. But after that first week or first couple projects, then they're gonna be able to continue to do it on their own without having to ask you all the time. That makes sense.
Okay, so then kind of like your backfall or your downfall for a while was the processes then in place that were currently there. After that, did you build another business, or was it just like that the Christmas light is the main one?
Yeah, so my Christmas light business was like the thing that always kept me going and that's the thing that was always like, after I knew that I could just try things for a whole year and know that if it didn't work out or if it didn't fulfill me as a business, then I knew I had Christmas that I could rely on to say, okay, all right, we can make money. We can now do that forever, because it's like we know it so well. We can sell it so well. We've just built a really great process to be able to just be like, all right, like if we want to make a lot of money, we can just go back to doing Christmas or continue to do Christmas.
But the other 9 months out of the year, you have to stay busy another thing.
Yeah. So I've bought like a artificial grass, like the synthetic grass. I bought a licensing program for North and South Carolina, and we did really well for about a year and a half. And then I got in a learning partnership with one of my subcontractors that I did really great work with. And then we decided to join forces and do it really big, and we were doing like $1 million a year. But then towards the end of it, I discovered that he was using credit under my name and doing projects on the side, and we were having all these different projects like nationwide, and I'm just like.
But wait, did you get any cut of those? Like, did you get any cut of that business that he was doing? Were there no contracts before? Tell me kind of like, because those are kind of the situations that I guess like first time doing it with someone else you face. So and you I don't know if you consider yourself a trusting person, but I'm sure that I've had a lot of downfalls just because I trust people too much.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing like about entrepreneurs is we want to grow too fast and we're overly optimistic. So then we become trusting. And then
true,
and
very true.
But that's okay. That's what helps us to keep being better as well and keep building relationships and have hope in people, because the times that it does work, it becomes great.
The risks, you mean?
Yeah.
But how'd you end up in the situation with your partner?
Yeah, so he was using, I knew about these projects, but he wouldn't tell me the whole story, or he'd make things up. Like we had a project in Florida, and basically we were paying for his workers, but they weren't doing any work, and they just like fucked this person's whole lawn up. And when I found out about all this, and then the biggest thing was like he went to, I think, Nevada or something, or somewhere, and they started on this project, but they had already gotten like half of it before we even started. So they used half the money to just fuck around, and then with the money that I got, and then with the money, like the other half, they started buying the materials and stuff, but then it like was way more. So then he started using our money to fund it, but then it wasn't bringing me any returns because he had already used the return, or like used the money before we even started to do things. So I wasn't making any money with it.
So it's just like burning cash, like
yes,
over and over
exactly,
again.
yeah. So right when I found that out, I was just like, okay, like I might die, I might get shot, but I gotta burn this. Like I gotta stop this now before it gets even worse. And that was a hard time for me, but it was also at a time where it was close to Christmas. So I was like, all right, I just had a shitty year, shitty partnership. I was probably like $100K in debt. I was on the brink of bankruptcy, like just trying to decide whether I wanted to go to bankruptcy or not. But then I was like, no, I got myself into this. I'm going to give myself out. And my Christmas business did that.
But let me emphasize, not everybody can take or manage that stress of being in debt. Basically, cash is being burned. How do you confront every issue of like adversity like that within your business the same way, or has it evolved through the years? Because I mean, like your first mistake or your first failure, it was probably like, like deafening to you, but the worst thing that could have happened to you. How has that kind of evolved over time? Like, how do you manage your failure?
Yeah, no, I've failed many times. Like soccer, I failed many times. I missed PKs, I missed shots or whatever. Business, I've failed, but it's really, I guess, okay, can you fail and get back up? Or can you fail and make right with the customer? Or can you fail and continue to have a good mindset to say, okay, yes, I take responsibility and I'm gonna learn from this and I'm not gonna let this happen and I'm gonna continue to get better. And one of the ways you get better is by getting into coaching programs, is by learning from people that you want to be like that's had successful businesses. Okay.
But so you're not, there's not one specific failure that you're like, oh, this was just the worst.
Oh no, that one was definitely the worst. That was the worst. And at that moment I knew, and I'll tell you a story about evolving that's really interesting here.
Okay.
That I found out. But no, at that moment I was like, okay, like I was always, and I still am, but I have to be smart about it. I'm an optimistic guy. Optimistic, trustworthy. Sometimes I don't speak up when I need to, but at that moment, it became real that, okay, if I don't grow up and be like a professional or an adult, that people will use you and walk over you, and you basically allowed that to happen because you weren't strong enough. You weren't a good leader or a strong person. So that at that moment, I knew, I was like...
A hard truth.
Yeah, dude. At that moment, I was like, all right, dude, like, if if I'm gonna be doing business with slick people or just business people in general, like I definitely need to level up. Both like physically, like I need to be lifting, not that I'm trying to beat people up, but just to show that, no, like I am mentally strong. I am physically strong. Like if you have a problem, you deal with me kind of thing. And then mentally, I was like, okay, like mentally, yes, we can be friends. Like, yeah, as a human, I love you. And even that guy, that was my partner, like, sure, I still care about him. But if you cross a line if you cross a line, like someone else is going to come out and no, I'm not going to beat you up or anything, but a line will be crossed and I'm just going to not have to deal with you anymore.
No, yeah, absolutely. Because if not, then that allows other characters to come into your life and say, like, oh, hey, like, you know, you can burn cash over here. So it's like,
exactly.
It's like, why don't I go over there?
Exactly.
Like
yeah.
That. So it's again, I think giving credit to what you said, it's like every entrepreneur has to kind of go through that, or like, I would consider myself as a very impulsive person. Now that has caused failures and successes. So it's, you know, it's all part of the like entrepreneurship road.
Yeah, for sure.
What would you say is kind of like one of your most successful moments to this day?
Well,
I would say personally, because
yeah.
again, if you don't take care of the person, then the business wouldn't be successful.
Exactly.
So what would you say, like, personally, like, it could be whatever. What was like one of your most successful moments that doesn't necessarily have to do something financial?
Yeah. No, I would definitely have to say, like, just like no one can take away all the work and the things that we've built.
Okay.
Like someone can take your money, but then they can't take away the knowledge and the know-how of how you built this company, and they can't really take your money because you're just going to be able to do that all over again. So they can't take that away from you. They can't take away the knowledge that you've acquired to be able to build a business, because you could just do it over and over again.
Okay.
So you get to a certain degree, if that makes sense. And mostly it's like probably just being able to be, I guess just like a good representation for my brother, and being able to buy good Christmas presents to people that I care about. And just being, honestly, I'm a very giving person. So just being able to buy people like dinner or candy just because I want to is like really nice, or whatever.
Do you feel like your brothers look up to you? Like, have you forced yourself to give them that example, or does it like just naturally come to you, I would say? Because I guess sometimes I would say, like me as an older brother, I kind of force myself to be an example for my brothers, because every mistake or every good thing that I do, they're going to take it into consideration. So how careful are you on who you show them that you are?
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, No, I think they have to. I think the people that you care about influence who you end up being, or they can. You decide if they influence it or not. Like, family is a big part of my life, so yeah, it was important for me to be able to be a good leader for my family, and be a good leader for my girlfriend, and be a good leader for my brother, because that's who they look up to. They don't know any. Typically, they're probably around more bad people than good, and we're around more good people than bad. So we get to be able to be like shining lights for people.
Okay. And it sounds like you've become a very good salesperson, and I think that sales does help you in like any perspective in your life. What's the biggest take that you've gotten out of sales, or learning sales?
Yeah.
Through your mentors and stuff like that.
Yeah, no.
Because that's the only way you're really gonna make money is learning sales, right? Mm-hmm. Or what would you consider one of the most important factors in business?
Well, I mean, business, if you don't have money or you don't know how to make money, you don't have a business.
Okay.
And
so that's why sales is...
Yeah, there's levels to that too. First, you have to make money to make a living for yourself. Mm-hmm. then you start making money and you have to help other people make money, not just for yourself, like the whole company. And then from there, it just kind of duplicates. And then through all of that, while taking care of other people, you have to be able to take care of yourself and your family and stuff. So, yeah, sales is you can ask 100 people, 100 entrepreneurs will say yes. If you don't have money coming in, then you don't have a business.
Yeah. And what's the biggest take that you've gotten from sales then?
So my biggest
Or your approach?
influence. My biggest influence in sales, the best thing that's probably ever happened to my life is Sandler's selling system. You can look it up. My coach is Jim Dunn, and I know you were saying you've heard of him, and Bob is hilarious too. He's awesome. We actually have the same coach, and they're actually friends, so that's really cool. And there's so many. So basically, I live a life of Sandler. You're gonna learn so many things in there. And at the end of the day, it's all just communication tools, and and sales is just a form of communication. And it's almost like, it's really cool. I love education because without education, you're like, you see this, maybe people will be like, you see this horizon, and then you get education, and then now you're seeing a different horizon. You see things differently than what the normal people see, and there's different levels to it. So maybe it's almost kind of like, I don't believe in any, I don't know. I'm just gonna say it. It's kind of like a third eye. Like, people see one perspective, but then when you start gaining knowledge, you start seeing like other perspectives and other ways, and it changes like your whole mindset of things. So Sandler is really good at that.
But in mindset, no, it totally makes sense. It's like you start getting a new perspective based off the knowledge that you were ignorant to before, because it's like
you don't know.
Yeah,
it doesn't even exist.
Exactly.
It's so cool. Like, I just love, and literally one thing that I love is like, you can literally get 1 second of knowledge that can help you make like $10,000. And let's say you're listening to a book that's 3 hours long, but then you're able to take 1 second, or maybe like a 3-second excerpt, 1 sentence from that whole 3-hour book. That 1 sentence can change your whole perspective and change your life.
So do you have a favorite quote then?
Well, like in Sandler, there's a whole bunch that I like. Yeah.
Okay.
Do I have yeah. So it's like, selling is just a form of communication. Like, it really is. And and you really can't sell anybody anything that they didn't want in the first place. So if I'm like, yo Mario, you want a table? I literally can't convince you. Like, I can't convince you to buy a table if you have 5 tables already and you weren't even thinking about it.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
But then you don't make a sale.
Yeah, so that means that person should have never been, like, you should have never been talking to that person in the first place.
So it's like qualifying clients then.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
So one thing about Sandler is like, if you learn the Sandler system, you'll close anybody that's closable. Like, if you didn't even care about a table that was white, and you didn't even want a table, like, that's the last thing I can't close you. But okay, if you're talking to somebody that is looking for a table, and they're fine spending whatever the price that you wanted, and you figure out that it's a table that it's for their family and it's their first table ever, dude, you're gonna be able to sell them that table.
Okay. Yeah, and I've kind of gone through the Sandler training. The mentor is, again, Bob is my mentor, and it's a lot about finding the systems and processes that will allow you to kind of make the business be able to grow by itself. Because, I mean, whether you're trying to sell it or not, the point is still to build out systems to make it efficient. And I think I was very naive on that point the whole time, because if you're not running your business the way your business should be, then it's just another job for you. It's just going to consume you.
Yeah.
And then that takes away from the actual time where you get to take care of yourself. Mm-hmm. How important has it been through your life to take care of yourself? Did you always prioritize that, or was it always trouble, and work for you?
Yeah. No, I think there are seasons and times of work, and there'll be seasons and times of where you get to like reap the rewards of your work.
Okay. So there's not a certain schedule for you or anything like that, or you just go based off kind of how the way your business is flowing?
Yeah, it really depends on, so I guess in that, I'm not fully sure, but in aspects, so one thing that we do as business owners, we basically get paid to solve problems. We know how to solve problems the best.
Absolutely.
Because maybe we're the most experienced, whatever, we get the final say. So it's really just like, okay, it's basically you get one problem. So let's say the problem is, and one thing about a CEO is that, while you hire workers, is that you as a CEO shouldn't be stressed. So if too many things are stressing you, you're wearing too many hats, that's when you should know, okay, now I need an employee. Mm-hmm. And of course you have to be making enough money to be able to actually do that. And that's why pricing and sales and knowing your value is so important, because let's say we can get down in a whole tangent, but I forgot where we're
No, it's we were talking about kind of like how it's important to know the systems and parts of your business so that, again, they're working effectively and you can get out of it. Long term, where do you hope to be with your business, or on a personal level? Where do you find yourself? What makes you happy?
Yeah. So business-wise, I will continue to grow our different businesses. Like all these years, I've tried different vehicles, as that you may call it, like different businesses. I've had some successful, some not successful, some that didn't really fulfill me of the business person I wanted to be. But we're going to continue building on that. We're going to expand that Christmas business. I'm in the investment world now, so I'm connecting a lot of, hundreds of $1 million of deals and people needing money together. So that's really fun. And I guess helping people that invest, helping them make good financial returns as well, letting their money make good money, continuing to build that. And things that make me happy. Honestly, things now that I've built a business that I'm really good at is like, I know I can sell anything. I know I can build out systems to be able to delegate work.
Okay.
And I guess I know how to, if I need help or something, I know how to help it and then get help and then duplicate it. So I guess things that really make me happy is being able to always, one, make money. Okay. Two, be progressing and building things. That's one. Human nature is like most people like us, we want to see progress, because we get to a certain level and then I guess you could be happy there, but we want to take it to another level. At least that's the case for me. Like once we get to a certain level, it's like, okay, yeah, I like this now. I'll sit in it, and then now it's like, okay, what's next?
But does that not? I question myself a lot, because as much as I want to chase the next financial success, how much is too much? Do you find that you know a balance point? Or is it always going to be a constant chase? Because me as an entrepreneur, I'm like, where does it stop? Because you're always excited about the next thing. It's like, oh no, but something else is waiting for me. Mm-hmm. When do you find that balance to stop? Or do you think you know how to stop?
Well, yeah, I would say, well, okay, so I guess it deals with a couple situations, or it could be a couple of different things. One, it's like, Yeah, like what we were talking about before. You get to a certain level, and you're gonna get to that level, and to get to the next level, you're gonna have to work even harder. So it's almost like, okay, is that work? So then people get a point in their lives where they're, okay, is this extra work even worth it for all the stress and everything? And if not, then they're just gonna stay right there, and that's fine. And if they are, then they do what it takes to be, to get to the next level. And then another thing, it really depends on what your goals are in life and what fulfills you. Like when you get good at building systems, when you get good at building cars, then you can delegate someone else building that car, and you don't have to do it. Then it's just like, okay, what game can I make now that somebody else can play, that then we can all make money?
Okay. But you take yourself out of the equation, and so therefore it becomes a lot more efficient.
Yeah.
You could still enjoy your
lifestyle. Because then, you're not doing anything other than building these things and then helping people to be better and supporting them, but they're the ones doing the work, and you just brought it to life.
Okay. I mean, then I can see how that's a little bit more fulfilling, because, I mean, again, I think I'm not there to that point as a business owner, but yeah, there's days that I'm like, okay, today's tough. Like, is it worth it? Am I doing the right things? It's like never enough. So it's like, sometimes it feels like an endless chase.
Yeah.
That I'm just like, where do I stop? Or kind of what's my measure of success. I mean, I'm just saying, like, these are kind of like deep thought type of things, but obviously,
and they're true.
The training programs and the mentorship, they've taught me, and they ask the most important question. Well, what do you think success is? Mm-hmm. What's your measure of success? Mm-hmm. We have to quantify it before, so that we know. Because if $1 million is your success line, then how do we build out the systems to get there? Mm-hmm. If it's 5 million, then how do we build out the systems to get there? So it's like,
you work backwards.
Yeah, it's that's something that Sandler Training really has kind of like emphasized to me. So
nice. And
it's also working with the right people. I don't know if you're a person of faith, but I mean, I think that deep-rooted faith in God has also helped me believe and achieve the things that I have done myself. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if that's kind of the same way for you, or if your faith is strong in that background, in that regard. Yeah,
no, I would say probably who I am today is all because of my faith. And just honestly, I'm at a point in my life where I'm just like, God, you got me in the right place, and like it fulfills me in all the places that you wanted me to be fulfilled in, and I appreciate that, especially in the investment world. So it's really cool.
That's kind of like the road that you're gonna head on now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, yeah, and I appreciate you, Tim, for having the conversation with me. I always end the episode with I guess something a little bit more heartfelt towards you. It's like, what message would you have gave your younger self, like, that you kind of struggled with growing up? Obviously, you told me that you were a very happy kid, you were good, but what's something you would have told your younger self today?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly wouldn't be here without all the people that's helped me, all my mentors, all the coaches, all the people that I didn't even call them mentors, but were there for me. Like, I'm literally the epitome of all the people that's helped me through hard times and guidance and optimism and everything like that. So if you, brother, or any of you guys, his network, his community, need anything, just reach out to me. I can give you suggestions or advice. And one phrase that really sticks with me is like, okay, if you're gonna ask someone, if you want a Lamborghini, Are you going to ask the Toyota driver how to get a Lamborghini? Or are you going to ask the Lamborghini driver how to get a Lamborghini? Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. It's like find who you really want to be and then take advice from that person.
Exactly.
So, yeah, and you have a really strong background in a variety of businesses, so that's why we kind of wanted to bring you on the podcast. Also, you're delving into investment accounts, so if anyone wants to contact you, I'll definitely have your information below. And
Sure.
And again, thank you for taking the time to letting me interview, letting me know a little bit more about your life, because again, it's very interesting. You went from playing pro, built out plenty of businesses, nothing has ever stopped you. So again, I was finding it very interesting kind of what perspective, what mindset you adopted to get yourself to who you are today, because it's not always easy and it's not always hard, but tests and trials, and you get there. So
yeah, and literally, like, anybody can do it too. It's literally the decisions you make every day, and it could really be the small decisions that you make every day. Do I choose to read a book or listen to a book as opposed to watch TV for the next couple hours? People know that literally any free time that I have from the moment I wake up in the shower, I'm listening to a book. And I'm telling you, these books are powerful. Knowledge is powerful. Literally, that one mindset change that a book can help you with, or that one horizon, one phrase, the way it can change your life, it really can. And you have to be the one to decide, I want to read this book or listen to this book, then go hang out with my friend, go party with my friends. One decision that I had to make was, all right, I love my family so much, but if I love them, then I need to be successful. And yes, I would love to see them every day, but is that really necessary? Just seeing them every day, does that mean I love them? No. Working hard, building my empire, and reaping the rewards of building that empire is going to go way more farther than physically seeing them every day or having to talk to them every day. So it's the sacrifices and the decisions that you have to make every day, the little ones that really matter.
No, you're definitely right about that one, and thank you again for for being on the podcast and providing us with the info. So
yeah,
guys, we'll catch you guys in the next one. Make sure that you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll just see you guys in the next one. Thank you. Peace.
See you guys.